Wheaties have done this, and they've lost too. So what? Zeph Hirsh, Action 5 News. Suffering succotash.
Over the next 10 years, progress in the case of Bunsen versus the Board of Education.
Could you hold up something white for me, Jerry?
Something white.
Winter-like weather heading our way for at least Thursday.
Soggy Turkey Day.
Looks like it could be, yeah. But no traveling problems in the immediate vicinity.
Ditto on those days off.
Good for you.
We're already working on some of the stories for our late edition of Action 5 News tonight. We're going to show you some of the folks who literally spread the warmth of friendship, and we'll explain that glow in the sky over Marymount. In his Nightbeat commentary, Jerry Springer will explain why Walter... Well, this is yours, isn't it, Norma?
It certainly is.
Here you go. Read
Explain
this.
why Walter Mondale's fate may rest with John Glenn's party loyalty in sports. We'll show you how Connor fared in the Kentucky 3 championship. And Glenn Schwartz has the weekend forecast all tonight at 11 o'clock. Now it's your turn.
Sometimes we just get so excited with these scripts, you know. Anyway, that is our 6 o'clock edition of Action 5 News. NBC Nightly News is next. What the heck, it's Thanksgiving.
Oh no, turkey breath. Yesterday was Thanksgiving.
Now, isn't that also a little silly in terms of what you can accomplish in 1 year?
It is. It's awkward. All of us agree that we would like to see a better way to choose the mayor. None of us, unfortunately, has yet come up with a formula which is acceptable to the others.
Everyone makes mistakes, including the president.
Masaya Su Okamura. Oh, damn it.
Does that make her the champion cow chip chucker or something?
As Buffalo Bill once said, let the chips fall where they may. That's
Very good.
right. You know, that's a famous quote there. You know who would look good on here, though? Norma Rashid. You're right.
Thanks.
No?
No.
Kipple hits Ulysses Norris. Norma couldn't get more wide open than this one. Look at that. Touchdown.
I guess, are the Reds upset about the herpes?
Concern is the only word you can really... did you say herpes?
I meant hepatitis.
They might be... Holy cow, Norma, you brought up a whole new can of worms. Anyway...
Action 5 News sex. Well, that's sex.
This is an Action 5 News update.
Good afternoon, I'm Norma Rashid.
And I'm Richard Alls.
This has been an Action 5 News update.
The hands are dying from the heat.
Pilots for the financially troubled Continental Airlines, let's shit.
Good evening, I'm Robin Phillips. Mr. Cuke is filling in for Michael Collins.
And in the meantime, join Norma Rashid, Richard Hall, and the entire Action 5 News time. 6 and 11 tomorrow. Goodbye.
Sports Scene is next. Good night. Hello, everybody. This is where I live. Elaine Collins faces her next challenge, recoloring all the flowers on the Capitol lawn. In Frankfurt, I'm Tori Atali, Action 5 News. I can't get through it without laughing. And now Martha Lane Collins is ready to face her next challenge, filling in all of the holes where Phyllis George walked. In Frankfurt, I'm Tori Atali, Action 5 News.
Hello, I'm Todd Donoho. 29 years ago, I was Cincinnati's first test tube baby. They had some bugs, though, in that operation. I still have this crane growing out of the side of my head. Carol Wilson will be telling my story tonight at 6 on Action 5 News.
It's an interesting case, and it brings up some other legal questions, like in the future, can a... shit! Shh! You use this for a blooper tape, and I'm gonna kick your ass. All right, okay. Keep going, keep going, keep going. We're testing here. Okay, let's stand still. Let's try standing still. Test, I can't do it when I can't walk. We'll get it this time. Will the police... In Green Township, Michael Collins, Action 5 News tonight. Let's get the hell out of here. He did it!
Excuse me, Tree, how did it feel when the alleged drug dealer's car ran over you?
Some days, going to work means putting up with the elements, wearing a raincoat, using an umbrella, letting a guy walk in front of you.
Jerry Springer has been keeping tabs on the trends and the turnout in New Hampshire all day, and he is live via satellite now. Jerry, we understand some surprising results have been happening in New Hampshire today. What do you have for us there? Well, Jerry, can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Okay, apparently we're having a little audio difficulty, Jerry. Let's try this one more time. No, I guess we just lost him. We'll try and get Jerry back a little later in the show. Sorry about that.
Go for it. Do it with him. Go on, do it with the Irish.
The incidence of deadly heartworm disease is increasing rapidly in this area, and if you really love your pet, take him or her to the vet for a heartworm test. Carol Wilson, Action 5 News.
That's what it's all about, bringing in conventions, bringing in money, bringing in jobs. Maybe 2,000 new jobs, literally hundreds of millions of dollars, excuse me, in money. I'm so overcome by it I can't even talk. This is Jeff Hirsh live with the Action Cam.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Kentucky State Police are on.
I'm Dan Hovel. Damn it.
This is an Action 5 News update. This is an Action 5 News update.
Good evening, I'm Norma Rashid.
I'm Richard Hall. Some local economic experts are painting a very bright picture for Cincinnati's airport tonight.
This has been an Action 5 News update.
I don't have any yet. I'm not getting it.
Good morning. Those of us who had to worry about getting to work this morning woke up to an ice storm that made some roads hazardous and others impassable. Dan Hovel is standing by live with the Action Cam out in the elements. Dan, are you there? Dan, somewhere around. Have conditions improved at all, Dan? Are you there? Hello, Dan.
Are we on?
Yes. Dan, can you hear me?
Oh.
Dan
Testing
Hovel.
1 2 3 4 5. Test 1 2 3 4 5.
Dan Hovel. Dan.
Hello.
Hello, Dan. Can you hear me? Apparently he can't hear me. Okay. Maybe we'll go back to Dan. We'll fix that problem. I don't think conditions have improved. They have improved a little bit. Steve Horsemeyer will be joining us in just a minute to give us an update.
Urologist Glenn Schwartz is outside right now with the live Action Cam with the latest. Glenn?
All right. Am I out here? Okay. Right behind me is the street, and it's just plain wet right now. But right on the sides of the street, we've got some slush.
I'm trying to keep mine up. I know it's hard.
Bullshit. Let's go.
You know where you can put it. Okay, here we go.
Only after a long day of flight maneuvers, the birds nestle down into their private condominium.
Condominium?
That's what it says.
Who wrote that?
that wraps up this edition of Action 5 News for tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Good night from all of us at Action 5 News. See you tomorrow.
Dave Hinkle, Action 5 News.
But fundamental changes in healthcare in this country play a big role as well, according to Money reporter Don Dunwell.
Well, the simplest explanation is that many hospitals are getting fewer patients. It's part of a national trend.
Well, it does look slushy out there. Is there anything perhaps that the morning drivers can do to help prevent accidents?
I would suspect just the obvious. Hold out. Here comes a car. And that would be Rick.
Forrest Gregg is leaving as we get organized here, and he'll be on the scene. Reminds a lot of people a little bit of Watson Brown, a great sense of humor and an offensive genius. We'll have that story coming up.
Good evening. Kentucky Governor Martha Lane Collins tonight took her plea to raise taxes to a city that already has enough budget problems of its very own.
Cincinnati Mayor Arn Bortz says tonight that he is not surprised by the opposition. The tax increase will be voted on in May. And
some of your tax dollars are being spent tonight.
Well, we've seen them advertised in newspaper inserts and on television sets. No, not television sets. We've seen them advertised in these newspaper inserts and on television. Hi. Hi. I'm totally expensive. I'll do it again.
This is an Action 5 News update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Collins. The search goes on tonight for the 2 prisoners who overpowered their guards at a Blue Ash gas station and then made off with their weapons. Both are said to be armed and dangerous. If you work in Cincinnati, there is a chance your take-home pay could shrink slightly. City Council approved asking voters to okay an earnings tax hike this May. Shit.
This Action 5 News Update.
Just to say
Who said? I am not God, nor am I a theologian.
3, 2 and a half. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Since the board. 3, 2, 1. Fuck. Now quick, here comes the sun. And I say, it's all right. You ready? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Since before the turn of the century, men have been breaking laws. Those men have ended up here, year after year, generation after generation. But now, inside these very walls,
I don't know what the fuck I said, but I'll try it again. There's a time factor now. What are you doing?
There's a time factor involved now if the fuckers don't get the son of a bitch straight.
All right, ready?
Yeah, we're
through. There's a time factor now. Council believes to implement the tax, it must be passed by August 23rd. Fuck! Shit! Oh, excuse me, Reverend.
that is this Tuesday edition of Action 5 News. Thank you for joining us.
And good night to all of us. And to all of you as well.
Yes, old anchors don't die, they just fade to black.
All right, this is how we keep warm when we're in the van and we can't turn the car on, okay? You plug in a light, you put the toes under the light.
Excuse me, ma'am? Ma'am, what channel do you watch? Channel 5, I thought so. Ready?
Nice. That problem can be eliminated with careful attention to removal instructions. As to your chance of getting pregnant?
Yeah.
That's the Sunday edition of Action 5 News tonight. Thank you for joining us.
Our next newscasts are with Carol Wilson tomorrow morning at 7:25 and 8:25, and Ann Riskin on midday. Ann Reskin on midday. It's been one of those days. We leave you tonight with a look at the Magic Kingdom on ice and some of the people who made this newscast possible. Good
See you
night.
next week then.
What do the people who run some of these bars think about that? Your fingers get in the way. Up a little higher there. There you go. Down at the bottom, if you would.
WLWT TV 5, Cincinnati. All tonight's news from the Action 5 News team.
And with a look at how things are going this year, Money reporter Don Dunwell is live at Shiloh Reich's downtown store. Don? Don? Go, Don. Don? Go, Don.
Stand by.
Go, Don. Well, apparently we're having some audio trouble. Don, can you hear me at all? All right, Don, can you hear me now? Apparently not.
Okay.
All right.
Well, students, basically, and...
In Mason, Ohio, there's fear tonight that this Christmas may be the last one some residents have jobs for. Jeff Hirsh tells us why and what's been done to prevent that.
This rusty pair of railroad tracks may not look like much to you, but to industries in Mason, it's a lifeline. But soon that lifeline may be cut.
Okay.
All right.
Well, students, basically, and...
That is our 6 o'clock report. Thank you for watching.
NBC Nightly News is next. Enjoy your evening. Don? Don?
Be there tonight at 8 for Boone.
Don?
Then stay tuned for Mary Tyler Moore, Donald
Don, can you hear me at all?
and the award-winning Ordinary People. NBC Nightly News is next.